Hello, I just found this channel recently that shows quotes from the great minds, the great philosophers. And it does show that the vast majority of philosophers don't really understand the opposite sex or refuse to. Uh, for example, Sigmund Freud has a lot of good quotes. If I stopped at this one, he says, "We know less about the sexual life of little girls than of boys. But we need not feel ashamed of this distinction." I disagree with that. After all, the sexual life of adult women is a dark continent for psychology. Why is it a dark continent? Because guys do not like what they find. And also, the women are almost never, if ever, honest about their own sexual desires. Because women's sexual desires are not flattering to them. And it shows a lot of the bogus narratives they make about men, and demonizing men. Women's sexual fetishes are absolutely equal, if not greater, to quote unquote degeneracy that men have. And that's why. And so guys like Freud here, he wasn't able to come to terms. And I'll show you a few others, but if you look at this channel, Great Quotes, this is supposed to be great philosophers, but look at the quotes they have in their thumbnails specifically. This is all of them have, like you say, usually about 8 minutes long, and they have a whole list of quotes going through the video of these characters. Look at what they say. Never believe your wife if she says, if a woman is cheating, it means. Of course, they're not all like this, but it shows up constantly. Between a wife and a mistress, a man always chooses. A woman will never go to bed with a man that, and you see it. If a woman wants sex, she will always. Men always want a new woman. A wife will cheat on you if you don't know. So the maker of this channel, Quotes of the Great, even though all these what do you call it? All these philosophers and great personalities have all these quotes. Notice that in order to get men's attention, they show, and women's attention, they show what people have to say about the female gender. And this is what philosophy is to us these days. And a lot of these guys, they get it wrong. Like I say, a lot of these people don't get it wrong. Look, Oscar Wilde, a woman will never have sex with a man, blah, blah, blah. There's tons of them. I would say there's almost 50% of these thumbnails have quotes about women and what women want. And another trick is that these quotes that you show in the thumbnail, they're usually put close to the end of the video so that guys will watch the whole thing, men and women, which shows you that they're trying to sell philosophy to very lizard brain people. I'm attracted to this because I noticed what was going on here. Look at Bertrand Russell. He has a lot of great quotes, but this one, of all the forms of caution, caution is love is perhaps the most fatal to true happiness. What does he mean by love? Like, is he talking about the love of a man to his children or to this best friend? No, there's only one love, of course, to talk about, and that's between grown men and women. And so he's just flat out wrong here. Married couples do not live in true happiness. And not just married, just guys work continuously to have some woman around. That's not true happiness. Bertrand Russell is just plain wrong about this. So he's a typical trad con. There's another one that shows it. To fear love is to fear life, and those who fear life are already three parts dead. Again, is he talking about the love of friendship or the love for your children or the love of your parents? Nobody fears that kind of love. There's only one kind of love he's talking about, and that's between a man and a woman. Women don't fear the love of men because they never fail. uh, Men are the one who fear. So he's talking to men and saying, "Wow, you fear love. You, but men have every right and every reason to fear the love of a woman because, as it's been said, here's the quote that Bertram didn't make. Uh, it goes, "Whoever the person in the relationship with the power is the one who loves the least." And the girls are the ones who love the least. The gender dynamics of the two lovers, male and female lovers, is one of power dynamics. And guys like Bertrand Russell would never admit that. And men, that's why you hear it's always the guy who says he has this great relationship with this friendship with a woman. And he says, I didn't want to get it sexual because it might ruin things. Why would he fear that? Because once he has sex with the woman, he believes he owes her. That's what it is. It becomes a relationship of servitude. Because right now, the guys who have a good relationship with women, and it's a non-sexual, it's one where he can actually see some kind of care and equality. But in any event, men have good reason to fear that relationship. And here Bertram is saying, wow, just throw your life away. There's all kinds of destructive divorcees that pay alimony and child support. Bertrand Russell, if you should be ashamed to say something like this. Here's another one. Those who have never known the deep intimacy and tense companionship of happy mutual love have missed the best thing that life has to give. Having a hard time not laughing. So, because again, I'll point it out for the third time. Your friend, your love of your relatives, for example, your siblings and your parents and your children. He's not talking about that. And if you have that, why would you care? What is the love he's talking about? Mutual love. He's talking about, again, the love, the quote unquote love of between men and women. And I don't see love there. Sorry, this guy is ignorant, and probably purposely so, about gender dynamics. Here's another one. I believe in using words, not fists. I believe in my outrage, knowing people are living in boxes on the street. I believe in honesty. I believe in a good time. I believe in good food. And I believe in sex. That last part is important. He can believe in sex all he wants, but a man can strive to get food or a good time, depending on, but sex, that's not up to him. So if you believe in sex and the woman denies it to you, then you can't have that. It's entirely up to the woman every time. So Bertrand Russell doesn't understand the opposite sex. A lot of these old philosophers never did. And also, you'll notice the trouble with philosophers too, is they have this back and forth while they'll talk about high ideals, but then they circle around and talk about the simple good things in life. you know, I mean, I agree with it. I agree with both. I agree in the simple things in life, and I believe in higher ideals. But a lot of times they will crap on the average guy who simply goes for the simple things in life. I mean, this is kind of beside the point, but they also say things like life is nothing but a competition to be the criminal rather than the victim. There might be some truth to that, but it kind of backs away from all the flowery talk of, guys going to do things for the right reason. If you really believe that 100%. And of course, he has love is something far more. It's for far more than sexual intercourse. It is the principal means of escape from loneliness, which affects most men and women throughout the greater part of their lives. Well, it affects most men. Again, Bertrand Russell doesn't understand the opposite sex. Women, their idea of love is having other women around. That's why you'll see them congregate so well, like in coffee shops and other places. Women prefer the company of other women, and that's how they escape loneliness. And of course, he tries to put men and women in the same category. Shows he doesn't understand the opposite sex at all. Here's the ultimate. Only women know that sex helps people being sexed. That means that we have a body with the ability to feel more pleasure. He's completely wrong about that. Why do you think men struggle to get sex all the time? They understand it just as much as women do. Matter of fact, he's wrong about women saying, it helps people. Women sell their sex to men. That's how it helps them. Yeah, women can feel pleasure at having sex and may have the need of it, but the sex for women is to get something else that they really desire. So Bertrand Russell, he's projecting what men feel and think and need onto women. This is the great thinkers of our mind. I'm just picking on Russell, period. But you'll see if you look at all these great quotes, many of these guys don't get it at all. They project what they believe, their values onto women. They don't get women right. They don't understand any of it. This is one of the reasons I'm not big into philosophy. In the end, the man is still just a dumb animal. And beyond a dumb animal, the dumb animals are willing to admit truths that the thinking man is not willing to. And you'll notice too that if I haven't mentioned this already, these quotes about women that they put in the thumbnail end up at the end because they want you to look through the whole video. So again, what it is, they are trying to sell philosophy to men who really aren't interested in philosophy. Here's these great philosophers. Let's hear what they have to say about the opposite sex. That's what's really important to you, you lizard brain man. Oh my God. And that's what I have to say.
That we have a body with ability.
That's what I have to say about this.